1. I'm going to put the soles of my feet together and I'm going to scoot my butt closer to my heels. I'm going to hold on to my arches with my interlaced fingers. I'm just going to gently bounce both side knees, just because it feels nice. We can stay here for 8, 7, 6. Be careful that you're not doing this. When you are in this position, you want to think about sending your rib cage forward between your arms, pulling your shoulder blades back together behind you. Nice erect posture through the spine. Muscles across the ribs are engaged. Pelvis is neutral. Weight is on your sit bones. Stay for 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. So this knee is a knee that had been opening away from the midline so much. When we open the knee out to the side like this is a glute isolation. What we're now going to do is a little bit of resistance work with the adductors, the inner thigh muscles, just to stabilize the other direction of this joint. Okay? So what I'm going to do is think about taking my same side hand, pressing the hand on the interior line of the knee, and I'm going to put so much pressure through that arm that I end up pushing my body away from that leg. So now I feel big pressure between the palm of my hand and my inner thigh. By pulling with my supporting hand across my toes, I'm going to get the inner thigh to actively push against my hand, create resistance, and we're going to hold that resistance pushing against the hand for 4 seconds. So keep the arm extended, try and keep the chest, the head in the same position as it is now. Engage the inner thigh muscles and push the inner knee against the palm of your hand. Squeeze up, create pressure, stay for 4, 3, increase the pressure, big power between the hand and the knee. 2, nice and straight, don't hunch your shoulders. 2, 1, and then relax the inner thigh muscle, let the arm push the knee into the ground. As you release the tension of the muscle, you should feel the leg just drop into the hip socket here. You can just gently pulse the hand against the inner thigh, just on one side for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Re-engage your grip on the inner thigh, re-engage your grip over your arches, lock the arm one more time. We're going to squeeze the inner thigh muscle, this time holding for 6 seconds. I want you to imagine that this is like a plank for these muscles just on the inner leg. So you really need to push the knee against the hand. If you don't feel a lot happening, you need to engage more power through the arm and more power through the inner thigh. Create the connection, engaging the inner thigh muscles in 3, 2, 1, and squeeze up against the hand. Power, power, power. Stay pushing for 6, 5, 4, if you get a cramp in your inner thigh, you get a special prize. 3, 2, all of you can add an extra 20% than you're currently using. 2, 1, and then drop the knee down and then gently pulse with the arm against the knee. Again, you should feel a little bit of space opening up on the interior of the hip socket. Just gently pulse the knee towards the ground. Try and keep the rest of the body as static as possible. Keep bouncing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to do that isolating engagement last time, this time holding the pressure for 8 counts. Be really vigilant that you're creating like powerful pressure. Like if you put your hands together and you push your elbows towards one another as hard as you can and you feel all the muscles in your chest engaged and you're like, oh my God, I'm praying the hardest I ever prayed in my whole life. Fuck, 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 fuck. You need that same kind of engagement between the palm of your hand and your inner thigh. It's not enough just to feel the hand pushing against the leg. You really need to push the leg into your grip, okay? Setting up nice and straight, making contact, locking the elbow, preparing for the resistance, engaging in 3, 2, 1, and push. Really use your inner thigh muscles. Strong, strong, strong. Stay for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 50% more power. More, 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 more. Use your leg. Lift the knee up. Push against the hand. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Nice and soft, nice and soft, nice and soft. This last one, I saw 3 of you go at the end, which means you were probably doing it right. Good work. Nice, nice, nice. You can just bounce the knees for 1 second. So now, super, super, super nice. So we're now going to do this inner thigh resistance exercise on the other leg. We're going to go straight from this into some straddle work, so I just changed the order a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do, make contact. Remember, this is an exercise where you have to consciously put pressure into it for it to do anything constructive. There are a couple things happening with this exercise that are really beneficial. If you imagine that this is the femur of this leg. This is the hip socket of the same side. By creating pressure where the muscle is trying to push in, but it's being forced down, it creates a kind of scooping mechanism inside of the hip socket, which is actually a really great way of clearing tension from around the joint. So this is one of the secondary benefits of it. And then also, obviously, we're isolating the action of the adductor and interacting directly with the muscle tone of this part of the leg, which is usually quite hard to isolate. So this is an exercise that gives you a lot, provided you put a lot into the exercise, so don't cheat yourself out of it, okay? One hand grabbing over the arches of the foot, shoulder blades pulled back, weight centered on the pubic bones, okay? Make contact with the inner line of the knee, push with that arm until it locks. Preparation of engaging power, we're going to do 4 seconds in this first round, switching on the inner thigh in 3, 2, 1, and push like a motherfucker. Feel the inner thigh engage for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then use that arm to gently basketball bounce the knee down towards the ground for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Re-engage the locked arm. Preparation to push with the inner thigh. 6-second hold this time. Coming up in 3, 2, 1. Engage. Stay for 6, 5, 4. More power. 50% more power. Everybody, please. 3, 2, 1. And relax. Basketball bounce that knee towards the floor. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Keep bouncing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Before we do the last 8-second hold, be careful of a couple things. The more you lean forward, the harder it's going to be to engage the thigh, so try and lean back a little bit, if anything. What I feel is that I lean so far back that this hand ends up pulling against the arches of my feet, then I open my chest. This is the position that I find makes the inner thigh most available for me. Okay, so I'm kind of like almost like pulling my head away from my feet as I do this. Make contact with the hand on the inner thigh, push until the arm locks. Preparation to engage in 3, 2, 1, engage, squeeze, push the knee against the palm of your hand, hold for 8, 7, use your adductors more, lift the knee more, high pressure, high power, 50% more, everybody please. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and basketball bounce that motherfucker towards the floor. Camilla, I saw a very convincing happen in your body that time. That was beautiful. Good work. Nice, nice, nice. Then you can hold over both arches with both same side hands. I'm just going to gently bounce your knees down. You should feel that this opening frog position immediately should feel easier. This inner thigh work is a really effective way of opening up the hip socket for middle splits. We used a lot of these exercises last week when we focused on middle splits. Super good, super nice. And then we're just going to open the legs wide into your straddle position. And we're going to start doing some isolating work for your hamstrings. So the first thing we're going to do is a little bit of rolling work in the hip socket. So I'm just opening into what feels like a comfortable straddle for me right now. It's not necessary for you to open all the way to 180 degrees straight away. What I'm going to think about doing is pushing my fingertips on the ground in line with each hip socket. I keep my knees locked, so much so that maybe your feet are going to slightly butterfly off the ground either side of you. The same way that when we were doing the locking knee exercise earlier, the feet float, really that is just your aesthetic line training for all of the lines of all your splits that you're ever going to put on stage, all right? Hands in front of the hip sockets, keeping the knees nice and strong. I'm going to think about inhaling, sending the weight forward onto my sit bones, puffing my chest up towards the ceiling. And then as I exhale, I'm going to tuck my pubic bones, pull my belly button in, and roll my weight back onto the soft, fleshy part of my butt. Inhale, sit up super high, puff the chest. Feel pressure on the inner thighs. Exhale, tuck the hips back. Working through for 6. 5. 4. 3, 2, last one forward, exhale, tuck it back, tuck back, tuck back, tuck back. So now I'm going to put a little bit more power inside of my fingertips. It's only like medium pressure on my hands. It's nothing too heavy. Keep your legs locked. I'm going to push with my hands. Now I'm going to lift both legs off the ground at the same time. Lift. and touch the heels down. I saw about 3 of you just go, fuck. But it's okay, we're gonna do it, it's nice. So you're gonna maintain the tuck. My weight is on the kind of the top, fleshiest part of my booty cheek. My legs are consciously externally rotated in the hip sockets, my knees are locked. So my inner thighs actually point up towards the ceiling. I'm pushing with my hands in front of my hips. I feel no pressure when the arms are bent, but by locking the elbows, I can lift my whole leg off the ground and touch. So we're just working on improving the active line of your straddles, pushing with the fingertips, lifting the legs. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Now you're going to cross your legs over, roll yourself forward, come onto your hands and knees, pointing your body on a diagonal line. I'm going to take my knees together, inhale, pull myself all the way back into child, and then exhale, push myself all the way forward into half plank. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one back, hold it forward, shoulders over your index knuckles. I'm going to push the arches of my feet into the ground without flexing my toes. I'm going to push the arches so much, I lock my knees, staying in a pointed toe plank. Squeeze the inner thighs together, keep the knees completely locked, pull the ribs in, send the hands forward into the ground, shoulder blades coming to the front side of the rib cage. We're going to stay here for 10, 9, lock your knees, lock your legs, lock them. 6, 5, 4, point your toes. Lock your knees again. All of you have got floppy legs. 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And then you can push yourself all the way back into the child. Open your knees a little bit wider than your shoulders so you can press your forehead onto the ground between your shoulders. And you can just gently shake your hips from side to side for 10. 9, 8, 7, using this compression position to release some stress from the inside of the hip socket. 4, this movement is also really, really lovely for your nervous system. Makes your body feels like everything is going to be okay. 3, 2, 1, beautiful. I'm going to push myself all the way forward.